now in Kilayim, Perek Bet, Mishnah Vav, the 6th Mishnah in the 2nd chapter of Kilayim. Says the Mishnah, Haratzela asot sadehu meishar mikol min. I have a long field, but I want to make my field meishar, arugot, strips, different strips. V'chol aruga mimin echad levado. So I don't have one big wheat field. I want to have a strip of wheat and a strip of barley and a strip of whatever, corn, etc., etc. So you're allowed to do this, obviously, but you have to separate between each individual strip a specific amount in order to make it clear that you're not intertwining, you're not intermingling two different species for the purposes of Kilayim. So how far apart do they have to be? Beit Shammai omrim, shloshat tlamim shel patiach. 3 tlamim. Tlamim are ridges, okay? 3 ridges shel patiach, of the opening. Okay, it's very, so I started to check out Dr. Felix's book, and we're going to get to this ol in a second. But he explains, Dr. Felix explains, that when they would first plow, after the patiach means the opening plow. So after the entire long summer of the harvest, the opening plow, the ground, before it rains, is very hard. Okay, and if you don't do the original plowing, then the water is just going to run off and it's not going to sink deep into the ground. And then the next time you plow, it's going to be very difficult. So they would have a charisha of the patiach, which they would just to loosen the ground. They would do it very not deep. So therefore, it was not a very wide plow. And that was the patiach. And then later they would do the charishat riviyah. Riviyah, remember we learned the word riviyah rishonah, riviyah shniyah. Riviyah is a rain. So therefore, they would do the plow of the patiach, and then they would do the plow of riviyah that was much deeper and much wider. So Dr. Felix writes, let's see if I can find it, okay? He says, Talmei riviyah, we said, Talmei charisha, you noagim ba'onot charisha shonot. They had different kinds of plowing. So he said, the charish rishon after the cutting, after the harvest, was charish patiach. And it was done right before the winter, after they had harvested the winter crop. Okay, when the ground, this is what I said, the ground was very tough, and the plowing wasn't to go deep; it was to go surface. So he says these patiach are shlosha me'em rochavam kishtei amot. It's approximately 2 amot wide, 3 talmei patiach, 112 centimeters bikiru. 112 centimeters, 1.1 meters, 4 feet, a little bit, about 4 feet, a little bit less than 4 feet. So that's what Beit Shammai says. Shloshat lamim shel patiach. If you can make your arugot, but they have to be approximately 1.1 meters, 4 feet apart. Beit Hillel says melo ha'ol hasharoni. It has to be the width of an ol hasharoni. What the ol is the yoke of the sharoni. So what's the ol hasharoni? He says melo rochav ha'ol shechoshim bo b'sharon. Sharon is the shvela. Sharon is the plains. Tanu bebika in the valley. Why? If you ever gone into like the Gush Etzion, you'll notice that they would have areas that they cultivated. But obviously, it's much more precarious. The fooding is not as good. So therefore, if you were putting a plow on or a yoke on an animal, it would have to be much thinner. Whereas if you have a yoke in the shvela, you want a wider yoke because you want the animal to have a better base. So he says this is the Ol Hasharoni, the yoke of the Sharon. Okay, how wide is it? It's a regular. You don't have to worry. How wide is it? So the Mishnah tells you exactly how wide it is. How wide is that? The width of the Ol Hasharoni. And in truth, they both gave different measurements, but they're both pretty much the same. That the yoke of the Ol Hasharoni apparently was the width of Shloshat Talmei Patiach. Okay, that was the same width, and apparently, according to Dr. Felix, that would be about 4 feet. I guess 4 feet on each side, 4 feet across altogether. I'd have to be 4 feet in between. So therefore, if I think it would have to be 4 feet in between because this yoke was 2 feet, and then the other side was the yoke was 4 feet. So the Melo Ha'ol, the whole thing was about 4 feet, about 1 meter. That was what the animal could handle in the Sharon. Okay, we'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, feel free, as always, to contact me at rspolter@gmail.com. And we'll dedicate this learning to the memory of my father, Harav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.